tell me, how did you both start getting involved in music?
For me, personally, I started in 1979 with my uncle's sound system, Black Art Man, which was a sound system that was playing around the cities in the UK at the time. So I started MCing and selecting for him as far as like starting the music. And then I started on from promoting a few little shows at my own bedroom with a like toy band kind of thing and just doing some songs, you know what I mean? That's how it started for me musically.
Basically for me it started maybe 80, 81. We were in, I think it was Mrs. Ferber's, which is Moat Community College, Mrs. Ferber's studio, and they were playing tunes like the Pac-Man,
Rocket.
No, Rocket came a little later because Rocket became number one. There was a Herbie Hancock. That's when we were stealing Mum's line those days. Yeah, well, that was a bit later. Pac-Man was a bit earlier. We were in Mrs. Ferber, Mercury College on Maidstone Road, Leicester, and it started there. And we used to see just little outtakes of a new craze which was forming over in America. It was a strange craze. No one knew what it was. There was no dance teachers for it. But we looked at the moves and we thought, that's good. And we saw people we could relate to because people were more our backgrounds from neighbourhoods like us, who'd had the same type of experiences as us, maybe a bit more intense. So we thought, this is a new craze. And so we tried the moves. And that was started by 1981, that was. 1981.
And then for me personally, coming from the dub scene, I used to do a thing called stepping or skanking, which is just jumping around, stepping it up, kicking your legs as high as you can. And then when I see my brother spin on his head, then I was like, wow, I didn't believe that it was possible for anybody to spin on their head. So it started off for me in breakdancing like that. And then I hooked up with a guy called Raggarty, and my friend Ruben, who had dreads at the time, got into Skywalkers, and then I got into Skywalkers via Raggarty and Ruben, basically.
Taking a little bit back, getting into dancing, was it that you saw something somewhere, or was it one of your mates, or did you get introduced into it?
Well, basically it was a group of us, because originally we're talking about guys who grew up, went to school with him, Mark James, Andrew Mitchell. We used to go and ride about on BMXs, on bikes, or just anything we could run about on the estate and just have fun. And we saw this program on TV one time, and we thought that program was interesting, and we saw the breakdancing on there, so we tried to emulate the moves. Because we thought, oh, this is good, breakdancing is something what costs basically no money. So we thought to ourselves, let's get into it. And that was about 81. And then we just tried the moves, practiced the moves, and those who practiced hardest succeeded. And
you got it,
and I practiced hardest.
So, when did you guys meet?
This is my brother.
Oh, brothers. Oh, see, okay. Didn't know that.
As I said, it started for me and
that's why
observing my brother.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He was breaking before me.
I was breaking before him.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
my
younger brother, right?
Yeah,
yes, my younger brother.
Yeah, I was breaking before him, and he just saw me. What's all that about? You know what I mean? In the house with a group of man just ragging my mum's carpet. You know what I mean?
And you're like, right, that's it, just do this. Yeah?
Well, now I seen him spin on his head, and when I seen him spin on his head, I was like, wow.
There was three main crews. There's going to be subjectivity about which one was first, Skywalkers or Electronauts. There's subjectivity about that. But also there's another crew which from the Sticks. Well, we thought it was the Sticks them days, but it was called Beaumont Lees. This was a new development out in the Sticks where, you know what I mean, to us it was the wilderness, because we were from the centre. And they were called Crusaders, but they were from right in the Sticks. And I think there's only one guy now who's quite well known there, whose name was John Barrett. I think he was the guy who formed that. But you have to ask people from that Pacific Crusade to go and get the full details. But the mainstay, those three crews, Electronauts, Skywalkers and Crusaders, they all formed around the same time. Some may have got to precedence a lot quicker than others because they said, let's go and get a uniform. Because the oldest ones in the crew would be the person who would think, oh, let's get uniformed. They're in America. And that's why when my brother got involved in it, I was just breaking wild, what? put in your uniform. My brother's like, no, let's get it regimented. You know what I'm saying? Let's train every day. Let's do 20 swipes, 20 things. Like we used to watch a lot of Kung Fu movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could watch a lot of Kung Fu movies and that, you know what I mean? Repetition. We used to do horse dances. We used to copy all these things there to strengthen our technique. We used to watch people's moves, learn the basic moves, what the Americans did, and then innovate upon them moves. That's why them days there, it was more innovation. These days here, a lot of more people will say, oh, let's go learn the windmill, let's learn to do that, and they'll kind of copy. With us, we learned the basics, which was the shuffle, the windmill, the head spin, and then from there, you made formations, routines, variations of windmill, flying windmill, spinning windmill, one-handed windmill, bumps, you know what I mean? It just started getting further, windmill with finger, windmill by holding one leg back, windmill holding the other leg back, spinning and taking your clothes off when you're spinning and coming up. So as it went on, we made it from that and we kind of went into a more of a regimented thing. My brother brought definitely the regiment to it. With us, we were kind of wild. It's like you go into the jungle and you see a bunch of wild fighters. They're all good, but there's no regime to them.
So you know these crews, but they formed, I guess, late 70s?
I would say that they formed about late 70s, as in 70, it was definitely 79, 80, but I would say 80 to be, put my finger, I'd say 80. Even though I can remember 80, definitely 80. And what happened from that is that it was the Scouts and Electronauts. I was more closer to the Electronauts first because there were more people who I knew were hanging around with. So it was Wilfred, and Wilfred was my cousin anyway, and then there was Khan and Han, and then there was Binder. Binder's the only one now I know about who still chatting on my Facebook actually, and we chat about the old days sometimes. I'm there, me and Binder. So he's one of the kind of old school heads, he's older than us, and normally people who are older would have a better understanding, not better at doing the moves, but better understanding how to take it forward.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we didn't know how to monetize it. They knew how to monetize it or to make it a lot more appealing, make your crew have more status. Not even monetary status, but just crew status. You know what I mean? As in, yeah, the Electronauts, yeah, the Skywalkers, they're the best. Yeah,
branding.
Pardon?
Branding,
yeah, branding.
Getting yourself
early branding, very early branding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you saw you saw your brother dancing.
Yeah,
right?
got
So what did that spark then for you?
Well, that sparked because I was into martial arts through the movies and all that. That to me sparked all the acrobatical kind of movement and the type of training regime that was necessary to develop the movements. So then we had like a competition at Mr. Kaiser's with the Electronauts after we formed up with the Skywalkers. This is like a little bit later on now, like a year or two later on.
And who were those characters? Who were the
that was in the Skywalkers at that time. Well, that was Raggetty, Rubin, myself, Craeski. Raj was in the crew then, but
Raj came with me.
Raj came with you.
We missed a little bit, but you finished your part there. I'll get back to it.
And then we had this battle with them in a place called Kaiser's, which used to be known as an older place, Bailey's, before that. So we had this big battle there where everybody turned up from Highfields and from
even out of town as well. Some guys came from Derby as well. Some guys came from Derby.
So it was a big, like, really big thing. I mean, there was like about 2,000 people in there at that time.
Yeah, it was really.
And then afterwards, because people said the Electronauts won, but really the Skywalkers had won. But what it was is they had a guy called Mad Hatter or Derek, who was a DJ at the time, DJing on the decks, and he says, yes, Electronauts won. So there was a big riot afterwards where loads of coaches and everything got smashed up. So yeah, that's where it come from. That's where the vibe of it really come from.
The dancing was pretty serious in this.
It was very serious.
Very serious.
So you mentioned about
yeah, but there was a little gap between that time there. Before I actually got into the Skywalkers, my brother was in the Skywalkers before me. Yeah, I came because originally I was a junior Electronaut, but then me, Leroy Small, DJSS to all those Raven dudes. Yeah, DJSS, Mark James, KMS, but it was me, Leroy, Mark James. I think Andrew Mitchell was there, but it was definitely me and Leroy walking back from Wesley Hall after a jam. And we said, yeah, we should form our own crew or something, you know what I mean? And I said, yeah, and we were coming thinking of names of it. And I think Lee might have said Style, I said 2, I said, yeah, Style 2, yeah, Style 2 crew. And we were walking back and we formed it together and thought, oh yeah, that name will work, that name can work, you know what I mean? And Darren George was there as well, there was crew was, and then we kind of hoarded people into it. And the crew was all right, and it was a good crew. But what I noticed about the crew was a crew where everybody other than me and Raj, because Raj used to come with me, so because me and Raj lived on opposite blocks in Highfields, so we were always playing together each day. So whatever I did, Raj did basically, because he was younger than me. And what happened was that we realised that the crew were in Style 2, they're more one move mans. It's like you might have about 20 man in the crew, but everyone was just doing one move. But I could do all moves, Raj could do all moves, and Leo could do a few more moves, and Jazzy could probably do a few more moves, but it was all one moves, and we're like, what's all about this one move business? But it was still good because Style 2 crew was our crew, and we could still burn a few man. We had a few routines, but then my brother said, "Oh, I'm with the Skywalkers." And Skywalkers them days they were bigger man. They were guys we looked up to. We looked at their moves, and even though I think we didn't have the actual confidence, but we were better than them.
Oh yeah,
we were better than them. But they had the uniforms. I suppose it's like you ever saw the Warriors from Coney Island. The riff with the Skywalkers, they were like a big crew, all uniformed out, you know, Adidas as well. You know what I mean? From that formation there, my brother Raj, he said, why don't you join us? So what happened is that me and Raj, what was the word? We defected to the crew, and we left Style 2 on their own. But because, without blowing my own trumpet, me and Raj were the best breakers in the crew anyway. You know what I mean? Me and Raj could break better than all of them. There might be one guy in the crew might be able to beat us at a specific move, but pound for pound, we were the best breakers. You know what I mean? I could do women, I could do swipes, I could do a hand spin, I could do a little rap, I could do a bit of beatboxing. I had the 5 elements. You know what I'm saying? I had all the 5 elements, so it was like...
And DJing.
Yeah, DJ as well, you know what I mean? Even though it was a bit woolly DJing, but it was still DJing nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? And we had all them, so we went to the Skywalkers, and we moved through the ranks so fast that we became the core members. Whilst other geezers, because they were a bit older than, weren't they? How old was
they? Yeah, they're a bit older than me. Like Raggedy, he's about 4 years older than me now. So
he must be about 16 then, yeah.
Yeah, he must have been 16. At that time.
Yeah, because I must be about 12. You know what I mean? So 12 and
no, you was younger.
I was 11.
No, he was younger than that.
You can remember?
You was about 10.
10. Cause I moved to Pluto Close.
Yes.
Yeah, Pluto Close, and that's when I met Raj. And Raj was about a year younger than me, and Raj just came over from Malawi.
That's right.
Yeah, so I must be even younger than that then, yeah. Wow, I didn't know I was that young. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Where did you guys used to practice?
We used to practice at Spectrum first, and that's where we got all the funding to get the tracksuits. We used to train with the older guys, which was a guy called Paul, a guy called Benji, a guy called Steve Chambers, another guy called Tony, and this was like the older crew, like, you know, 5 years older than myself type of thing. And then when they moved on from it and we carried on, we started training at a place called Wesley Hall. That's where Idris, who formed 5HQ, originally Sneakers Records.
Sneakers 54 originally, yeah. With Gary Davis.
Yeah. Came in as a DJ, and he used to DJ up there. Wavy used to come and break and beatbox up there. We used to put on a lot of like youth stages where we was part of the committee at Wesley Hall to organise this disco. So that was like the first proper hip hop scene in Leicester.
Hip hop jam. Everyone used to come to them jams.
People from Nottingham,
Derby, they used to come to them jams.
Yeah.
We had the flyers and that. Yeah, the flyers used to go design them with little graffiti guys and little bubble writing, and they were just photocopy black and white, but. For them days there, we were well before our time. You know what I mean?
You still got copies of them, do you think?
I saw one somewhere, you know. I saw one. I can't remember where I saw one. No. We have to look for that. So we can find it.
I'll see if I can find that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was part of the training. But we also used to do a lot of workshops for a thing that started up called Leicester Expressive Arts. Going around different schools, teaching schools, doing workshops and all that.
Yeah, that's Philip. You should imagine it.
Yes, Philip. And Oliver's we used to dance as well.
Yeah.
We used to dance a lot at her gala days. That's when we formed our own crew now. So we pulled in a guy called Dazmesh, a guy called VJ, this little Asian kid, but he was like older than us, but a lot muscular than us, and he could like literally do some moves that I've not seen no one do today.
Yeah, DJ Patelli.
Yeah, he used to bounce on his head when he was spinning, kick his legs up, and hop. You know, like you see people hopping on their hand, he's hopping on his head like
very
that.
strong individual.
And he used to have the baddest turtle.
Yeah,
The baddest turtle. And we originally met all these guys through the experience that happened up at Wesley Hall. And we had another guy, a Sikh guy called Dazmesh.
Dazmesh, Dazmesh went on to be massive DJ, specifically massive within the underground gay scene, because he was, I think we didn't know at that time, but he was a gay guy, but he could really nothing to laugh about that, because he's a big DJ. He was a big DJ. I mean, big. I know you're laughing now, because obviously when you break dancing and that, we didn't know, but he was just our mate. We didn't care. I didn't care if he was from Mars. He was our mate. You know what I mean? And we didn't know them days there, but he was a really good break dancer. He used to always do windmills, didn't he?
Yeah.
He would do windmills. Windmills weren't the best, but he was always a team player.
He was.
Yeah.
I mean, we took him on a show to a place called Blazers with Ann Oliver's, and we done this big show. And basically, what happened was he was doing his windmills, and then he flew off the stage and landed up on someone's lap in some big posh club. I remember that, like that, on these people's lap. You know what I mean? That was so funny, man. But also, Ann Oliver put us around and put us doing a lot of teaching as well, which was really good for us at the time. And we've done some video work for her, for some films, some Asian movies that were never ever seen. That they brought some guys over from India and started filming some breaking for part of this movie that they were shooting. So we've done a load of documentaries that we've never seen before, that are probably somewhere out there.
I think them days there as well, even though we had my brother and who else, Ruben, they were older, raggedy, we were still quite exploited, a bit like how Sugar Hill was, because we didn't know our net worth, we didn't know what the market was, so we were doing it for the love.
Yeah,
whilst people like Oliver, she's a pioneer in Leicester and a woman to be respected, but I don't know if it was her, Philip, or whoever it was, they were probably getting a certain wage, because this was a new phenomenon. They said it was going to be a fad, but whilst the fad was there, people paying big money for the fad.
Yeah, there was.
We were happy to go and get some cakes and a new tracksuit. You know what I mean? Whilst they were getting probably a car and a new house. For all we know. You know what I'm saying? So the mathematics of it are really strange. But we were young. We did it for the love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's, obviously there's a massive development in it.
Yeah,
massive.
it was massive.
So, with your crew then, I guess there were battles and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we went to a big battle in '86. It was called Fresh '86. Leroy came part down with us as well. Because by that time, Leroy joined with the Skywalkers, which is DJSS. And we had a battle in London, so it was all the Midlanders v the Southerners, or be the Northerners. So we had groups like that were from Sheffield, Smack 19, groups from Nottingham, Rock
Broken
City
Glass.
Crew, Broken Glass, and then we battled all Dolby D and London Posse, and we just tore them apart.
London All-Stars as well,
London All-Stars as well. And Raj and Craeski, they just tore. There was a little breaker there called Halix, who was like their age group, their kind of thingy, and these lot tore them apart. I'd say that Craeski and Raj were probably the best breakers in the country at that time, for certain, but only because of their age and where they were based in Leicester. They didn't get as much highlight as the Rock City Crew, because Rock City Crew is based in Nottingham, and they had this club, Rock City, where every Saturday we used to go there and do the shows and do breaking. But we also had a big breaking competition with, I think it was Smack 19 from Sheffield, because Goldie was part of Smack 19, I think it was.
Yeah,
and we had a battle
from Derby?
with him.
Who was the Derby guys called? What are they called again?
Oh, I've forgotten the Derby.
They came down with Goldie.
No, that was from Sheffield. That's Smack 19.
I thought they were from Derby.
No, they're from Sheffield.
Yeah.
And they came down with Goldie, and I remember Craeski breaking him up, and then Goldie came and like
Goldie pulled him up. He put my pants down.
Yeah, that's what he done.
Because them days there, I didn't know about them little moves. Goldie came, and he came down to me, came behind me, and put my pants down. You know that? So I was like, standing there, but obviously I didn't know he was just Goldie. I'm like, yeah, because you got beat, but it still was like that kind of mimicry. And even though we were a bit aggrieved by it. It was all good breakdance, frivolous. It wasn't no physical. It was just like, push pants down, you know what I mean? And everyone had a little laugh. We still beat them anyway, but but that was like a sucker punch.
So were those dance-offs battles happening quite often?
All the time, every day.
Yeah.
People used to meet up at a special place near Haymarket, where we used to be our breaking area. They cut it off at
Breakers Corner.
Breakers
Corner.
Yeah. And everybody used to battle there. Everything is. So people used to come from Nottingham. Yeah, I gotta battle you. You know what I mean? I heard that you're the thing. So it'd be like them old kung fu movies where people come there, come to the club, say, yeah, I can take you all out, and come in there and battle. And you know, the reputation of a master breaker would come across, and everybody would know certain breakers like Crazy Kid or Craeski, or you know what I mean, Smurf at the time, or the Jedi at the time. So you know, or Raggedy at the time. But as I said, you know, the moves with this lot's generation, they took it onto another level, kind of thing, doing moves that were never ever seen before, really, and never seen since. Because when I look at all the breakers now, none of them are doing that kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
What's the caliber of them then? Compared
No, the caliber is brilliant now, don't get me wrong.
Those moves are
but
just,
these particular moves are missing out of it because, you know, no one's had the innovation to do that or the craziness to do that. Because we used to do crazy moves.
There's only been a certain amount of evolution within the breakdance field. Now there's a lot, because a lot of people have did about, I'll say about 3 moves which are kind of evolutionary, which came off before. With us, everything was more evolution because you learned the basic moves and everything was fresh. Everything was fresh. Everything that was fresh. You had to make it up. You saw a move, I can do a better move than that. I can do a better variation than that. I can do that. That was all fresh. Now the only move was a flying windmill or flying helicopter. That was the only evolution move. You know where they got that.
Well, it's called air tracks.
Air tracks. That was the only one there where I saw was evolution. Everything else now is just being a routine, a rehashed version of the same move. Or just a better combination of it, or a longer combination of it, or more perfect combination of it. You know what I mean? So not much people have gone much better than that. You know what I mean? Since them days there.
Yeah.
So that was like mid-80s, all this kind of stuff was happening.
Yeah, mid-80s, you could say.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
So then, what over the years, what started to change? What happened?
What's happened in the years is it's become more. How can I say? Hip hop's become more institutionalized now. At that particular time, there was no forerunner. I think Rocksteady was the only forerunners at the time, and New York City Breakers. Everybody else came with moves that they had to reinvent or remake. So at that time, the movements were more based around what some people had seen on videos or what some people had innovated themselves. But then the music changed. It was more of a culture thing. Then everybody started dancing, like, you know, doing more what we call street dance now. And it took elements of the popping and bits of the breaking, but it kind of fell out of fashion by, you could say, 88, because we were still breaking 88, but there wasn't no crews breaking 88.
I think,
you know what I mean? You remember that, innit? I think the gangster image came in as well, whereas hip hop was all about peace, love, unity, and having fun, and the 5 elements of all that, really.
Well, basically, I think if you wanted to break it down to make it a more concise thing, what basically happened within the hip hop field is that the corporate industry said, this is not a fad, they're making money. And we're not making them money. We want to make money. So let's take out what we can control, which is the DJ and the rapper, grab them and make it into what we want it, into a corporate image. Sugar Hill were like hip hop, Scooby-Doo, I'm bad and bad. And then what happened is that they started to get different elements of rapping, and it was the rapping what they saw they could monetize, because you can't ship a breakdancer all around the world too much. But a track could be sent, record, send it board there, we can monetize that.
Of course.
Monetizing me now, that means I'm getting paid. When they got that, they can get rappers on shelves. Spoonie G, KRS, Boogie Down Production, LL Cool J, they can monetize that. They put them on the shelves, run the MC, and they can make money from that. They can sell it around the world. You know what I mean? So they started selling that, and then they went even further and realized, okay, we don't need the DJ that much no more. We need to have the rapper. You know what I mean? And we can make it into a what? Because then if you've got the DJ and he's using all these samples, we're going to pay money out. You know what I mean? So we'll get the rapper and we'll get producers.
Of course,
You know what I mean? Forget the DJ, we'll get producers now. And then the rapper was just there now, and the DJ kind of fell into the back line, back to the underground where the rap and the graffiti was.
And the breaking.
Yeah, breaking was all in there. And the rapper came to the forefront as a rapper. It's still forefront right now. You know what I mean? And what they did then, well, this is my philosophy on what they did then, if they started to go and make it controversial, there might have been a lot of rappers like NWA who were rapping about things from their hood, which was real. But they thought, this is good for business. Killing is good for business. Death is good for business. So all the rap scene, even though it's still bubbling underneath there, and those who were true to it were still doing it, it wasn't making money. But whilst they ain't making money, people are growing up and they have to provide for themselves. When you're breaking and you're popping and everyone saw things as an element, everybody's getting paid. Let's pay that guy 100 quid to do that breakdancing. Let's pay that DJ 50 quid. Let's pay that beatboxer another 25 quid. Everyone's getting paid. But the corporates took it out, made it into an element where they think, let's just go and control this. These guys don't know how to do it properly. Let's tell them how to get paid. And they got paid from it. And I wouldn't say it was the form of the gangster rap, but gangster rap wasn't their fault that it was more a case of the corporates capitalising on it and pushing that to the forefront. They hated Public Enemy. You know what I mean? They didn't want Malcolm X on the mic. You know what I mean? Who wants Malcolm X rapping on the mic and trying to empower people? They don't want that. They want an industry which is going dumb. They want you to dumb it down, make it the most possibly appealing to the masses. Sex sells, guns sell, death sells.
Well, it was a lot of movies that made that happen as well. It died off as like the main craze, and those that was still into it from the heart, from the expression of the art form, stayed with it. But you know, to cast you back to that feeling of that time, there was this thing where it's going to be big, but to see it how it is now, how big it is, it's a multi-billion industry. It couldn't have happened without the breakdancing. Could have never happened. Hip hop would have never happened if you didn't see a guy spinning on his head and doing some crazy moves.
Because that was part of the culture.
Because that was part of the culture. The rap was just part of one of them elements.
And also,
and the DJing.
More so than being a part of the culture, it was alien to every other part. Breakdancing was alien to rapping, it was alien to even beatboxing and DJing. DJing was, I suppose, a bit more innovative. So I'd say breakdancing and DJing were probably the main two elements, because the rapping was been around forever. Rapping been around since African days.
Yeah.
So been around since African days, but breakdancing, these guys doing these weird things, spin on their head. People never saw it before. But what the hell is this?
Exactly.
Who are these strange guys spin on their head?
I remember people in the crowd saying, he's got no bones, man. He's got no bones. Wow. They'd see Ruben pop and see his head go that way and his leg go that way and think, hey, this guy's got no bones. So, as I said, without seeing that image, this is when video just started coming as well. Remember, MTV was pushing all of that stuff with the pop in, Michael Jackson. So this is what happened, really. Yeah, this is what.
I think breakdancing was a spark. Breakdancing was the spark. It was a spark. What lit everything else up? You know what I mean? It lit up the rapping, it lit up it lit up the rapping, it lit up the beatboxing, the DJing, the graffiti, and because they were all seen as quite all urban stuff, they all gelled together. You know what I mean? As elements.
How did you see the evolution of this rap, this hip hop culture? How did it grasp Leicester from your perspective?
It took Leicester by storm. Leicester was a hip hop town back in the 80s, you could say. It was like known for its hip hoppers, such as ourselves and all the other
Skywalkers,
DJs
Style 2, Crusaders, Electronauts kind of faded into the background a bit, but Skywalkers, Style 2, Crusaders, you had the Electro Force, and what were your crew called, Wavy?
Electro Force.
Electro Force.
Break Force.
Break Force.
What area were these crews from, and then what other areas sprouted different crews as well?
Originally, it all came from Highfields originally. Everyone who had Highfields was at the pulse. Highfields was definitely the pulse of it. It was the pulse of it. I suppose if you want to go and take it down to ethnicity, it was definitely seen as more a black activity. But the good thing about it, just like most things, what come from a kind of a black eccentric kind of background, Afrocentric kind of background, what happens is they're always inclusive, they always gel, they always merge. Because when I was breakdancing, you could go to an area where white guys didn't like you.
Yeah.
But you're breakdancers, you're cool now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, I suppose if you want to go and give a really crude analogy, it was like 9/11. When 9/11 happened, right, black guys going on the plane, or black guys doing this with that black guy on the plane. But then he was like, black guys are cool now. I want that big black guy on my plane with me, because if he turns from my plane, he's going to go and he's going to sort it out. I wasn't going about this same thing. So I said, yeah, I want that big black guy on the plane with me. What them doing? Come on there, he's going to kick their ass. You know what I mean? It was a strange analogy, but it was like that. It was all pervading. You cut that if you want, but it is true.
No, that's the realness.
It was pervading. Hip hop included all. It had no colour bar whatsoever.
But
you're white, yellow, brown,
Yeah.
Sikh,
Yeah.
Muslim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it was for culture. It was a mixture of cultures, because I remember when they first came with certain tunes, and they'd be sampling like that girl that was like an Arabic singer, and Eric B and Rakim and Cole Cut done this mix.
Mashfish, what's it called?
Al Nafish.
Nafish, yeah.
And all these type of things.
Yeah.
So you'd always have a cross culture of African, European. So you just wouldn't know when you bought a hip hop record, was it a classical sample? Was it African sample? Was it Indian sample? Was it Arabic sample? So this is how all the cultures got involved with it as well, by seeing that it was like an influence of everybody's culture that kind of formed the hip hop thing. But at the same time, when you look at even like the laptop that you're using, Mac came out around just a bit earlier than before hip hop was born, but when they seen how hip hop was going, they made a lot of applications. I remember breaking at Haymarket and hearing for the first time Tila Rock, computer program with just one finger, made complete for the chosen singer.
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting now. In Leicester had the original 5 elements where you'd have the graffiti artist. Craeski used to be a graffiti artist.
I do graffiti as well.
He used to do it all over the shop. He tagged up this stuff, you know what I mean? Before we was breaking, we was climbing.
Yeah, we were climbing.
So, and this man was the champion
I was the
climber
champion
as well.
climber,
He
best
was champion
climber in
breakdancer and the champion climber as well.
I suppose what it is just,
You know what I mean?
well, the issue is that I think it was more issue that, you know, whatever you do, try and do it your best you can.
Yeah, that's what it is.
These things weren't held back by academia.
Fair.
They were held back just by your
fair.
own level of how far you wanted to push something. That's why I said to you earlier, I'm a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire, because I thought then, I did this, I did that, I did this. Normally when I try to something, I might have to go through trials and tribulations to get that. And as you get older, you get a lot more luggage, whether it be in the form of a girlfriend or with the kids or just people you have to look after. What stop you from trying to get that? But as long as you keep your eyes on the prize, you can always get there. You have to just keep your eyes on the prize. And with graffiti, because it was a part of hip hop, I wanted the best. You had some guys who as artists, they were so much better than me. They could draw some Mona Lisa like sculptures on the wall. But it's just
Caper,
artism, racy. You know what I mean? These guys were so much better than me for art wise. But when it comes down for getting down and dirty and your name up, Zest was the best. No one could beat me. I'm saying Zest.
Yeah.
And even when everyone started to chase me down, because please chase me because my name was Zest, I changed my name to Sice. You know what I mean? They changed my name to Chase. And I kept changing my name, but everyone knew who I was. You know what I mean? And I got my name everywhere. And as a result of it, people, even like Riaz, me and Riaz are doing speaking terms, even mention me in the book. There was some geezer called Gary Bailey who's to write Zest in his book, you know what I mean? I'm like, graffiti days, I was, forget my name, I'm not best artist, but forget my name,
Yeah. So basically, what you can see is that hip hop and music gave us this like culture, mass culture from everywhere, and as a result of it, we kind of got to see the world and traveled a load of places and done a load of shows in that time. Because I remember we went over to do a show in France with Leicester Expressive Arts at the European Union building, but my brother couldn't come over because my mum wouldn't let him go. because she says 2 people, 2 brothers on the plane.
If
If one crashes,
then
one
both
can
are dead.
live.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that type of.
That's how my mum thought at that time. But we've done a
The
brilliant
same one.
show there as
I
well.
stayed back, you
You know
mean?
where she stands with who the favourite is.
I was youngest though.
Yeah,
I was youngest, that's why.
yeah,
Youngest,
yeah,
youngest.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
age thing.
That is jokes.
Yeah, but even from that, it's funny to me now because now you kind of put it onto the next vibe, which
Yeah.
where because if you say from that from the break dancing, then even when it comes to music, you know what I mean? Them days there from when break dancing was still there, I was still into it. We went from that into more the music field,
Yeah.
and even there we were even before yesterday we were the first people. We went up to Derby, a studio in Derby, paid some big money to produce a tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called You've Been Told. It was
That
called
was
You've Been Told, yeah.
1989.
1989 it was, yeah. You've Been Told, went to studio and we made a tune called You've Been Told.
So who was what was going on? Who was?
That was
Them
me
niggas-
and Craeski
Yeah.
Skywalkers at the time.
Scout at the time, yeah.
just rapping
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He
produced
was
it.
called Scientist then.
Yeah.
He was called
No,
Scientist.
Jedi.
Was it Jedi then, yeah?
So you went to
then.
Derby. They produced the beat.
No, we produced a beat.
You produced
we
the beat.
produced the
And
beat.
you both rap over it.
No,
he rapped
just
on
about
it.
it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, them days there. I can
But
remember-
also, we through the Wesley Hall, we were hooked up with DJSS, who done a lot of productions for us in the early
Yeah,
days.
we've spoke to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he done a lot of productions for us at the time. At the time as well is when DJSS was moving into his productions with 5HQ, and we was part of that originally as well.
Formation
5HQ Formation Records.
Even then we had a battle with a Nottingham crew. What were they called now? Because Trevor's still about now. Trevor was part of the crew. What are they called? Logic.
Logic.
Oh,
MC's Logic.
Oh,
MC's Logic.
Oh,
We had a
okay.
battle with MC Logic from Nottingham because Leicester and Nottingham always had battles.
Rivalry.
Whether it be roller skating, break dancing, ice skating, football. You know what I mean? They always talk about Clough. I'm like, yeah, where's Clough now, mate? You know what I mean? But they used to talk about football all the time, and we had like a battle. And I remember it was Leroy. After what happened is that Logic went to the stage at Spectrum, and they were rapping, and the girl dropped the mic, and she was still rapping. She was miming. So you know in your mind, them days there was like hip hop was real,
Yeah,
scandal,
hip-hop was real, yeah.
boo, that off the stage, and Leroy said,
Yeah.
"You ready?" I said, "Yeah." He was pressed the beat, buff, and it was like catapult suckers trying to fuck my way. I stand firm, ready to burn, compile, MC smile, and they hear my style. They go, wow, why is that? Because I told them this, I'm coming again. You know what I mean? We smashed it.
I
We
just
killed
made this
them.
is before even all this drum and bass stuff.
Yeah,
I think you actually started the drum and bass
I wanna-
with that tune. No, you listen to
I
the
wanna
tune
go as
now.
far as that.
No, hold up. You listen to the tune and the jungle vibe. Because it basically, they used to sample that break, funky drummer.
Yeah.
And it had funky drummer,
Yeah.
because rap at that time touched
even
that
what sample-
120.
Remember, I sampled that Asian tune as well.
Yes, that's right.
What was that Asian from 1979? But you sampled it afterwards.
Shalimar.
Shalimar. I sampled Shalimar. Yeah, that's what I sampled. Yeah, Shalimar.
Yes.
So Asian music, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So what I'm saying is the track was so fast that before even this drum and bass jungle thing had existed, these tunes had the elements of this without the name of it. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So what I'm saying to you is that certain things start like as an idea just in the sky that anybody can pluck down, but it's only once loads of people keep doing it continuously in that flavour and that fashion that it becomes known as a style. But now the style that we was doing then is nowadays style now. You think about it.
He's
You know
right.
what I
And
mean?
I think what happened in Leicester as well is because, you know, when you, if I would have travelled further afield, or if we would have travelled a little more further afield, we'd probably be still doing it today and probably making decent, strong money out of it. You know what I mean? Because them days there, no one was rapping. You did a rap tune and no one put the rap tune out. You're like, and then afterwards, the only person who put a rap tune after that was DJSS and them. You know what I mean? No one else, everyone used to do rapping on stage, but no one went and recorded it. You know what I mean? And obviously that may be because I was a bit of a hustler, a bit of a wheeling dealer. I thought, I got a bit of money. Let me go drive to thingy in this car.
Well, remember it was Rough Justice. Remember it was Leroy and Idris that took it into the business level and started doing the labels and the record shop.
That's what made it all possible.
Yeah, that's what made it possible,
So
really.
that was
You know what I
90s.
mean? That was
but we did
80s, early,
early
no,
90s.
it was 89, 90, you could say.
Yeah, but our tune was before they did that.
No, our tune's before that.
Our tune before that, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Our tune was before that.
Where
you know
we
what I mean?
pressed the record and everything. Yeah.
So
You know
during the
what I mean?
90s then, you just started recording a lot of music?
Yeah.
We're doing music, yeah.
Yeah, we was recording a lot of music with DJSS, at the time as well. He was doing a lot of production at the time, but also was doing a lot of stuff with DJS at the time, as well as of our own production.
I think we're more. We did some with DJSS Leroy, but with more DJS.
DJS,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because then days, remember, it's still based around decks, proper DJs, proper beat man, rather than samples. Samples were bad, but weren't so relevant them days. The samples were more like you had to get a 1200 and do it from that.
Yeah.
We're like, let's go and get Reason, whatever 7, 8, what they got now, or Reason 1 when I them days there. It weren't that. It was just like you do that, and the DJ DJs, he makes the beat and you rap over it.
Yeah. Later on, we carried on with producing. We hooked up with Mark Morrison, Punjabi MC about 1990, which are like artists that kind of made it. They used to come to my friend Spider, who's passed on now, yard, and they used to hook up with us, and we used to produce a lot of stuff with him and mix a lot of stuff. So I introduced him to an Asian guy in our crew called Raj, who went on to produce some stuff with Beyonce through that. We also done like some world tours with both these artists, but before we was doing all that stuff, we was touring around with like Alexander O'Neill as well, later on, or before that time. So originally when we met up with these guys, there was like, you know, Mark was just like living in a council flat at the time. He had shoes like begging for bread. People were like dissing him, saying, "Oh, you're never gonna go nowhere." And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go #1." So I ended up producing him. I took him up to DJS's yard, and we recorded this track called "We Gotta Move On." You know what I mean? You know, that track now could probably be worth something. You know what I mean? But at the time, it was just like, yo, we're just doing what we're normally doing. DJS was the only guy that had like studio equipment at that time, except for Southfield, but there weren't no other studios that we could afford, except for the time when Craeski took us to Derby earlier on that particular time. So we started producing with these lot, and Punjabi MC brought down his studio and set it up in Leicester as well, and we start producing a lot of stuff with him and Spider for a group called Tones of Life. And then we moved on again, and Mark started producing some other stuff with a guy called Daddy Watsy, but he'd also done some stuff with Jazzy originally for 5HQ at the time, and the contract got torn up because Mark didn't like the deal. Mark's management didn't like the deal. So then he started producing some stuff with Soul to Soul and started getting his name around London a little bit. And then he ended up producing a track called Crazy, which was me, a guy called Daddy Watsy, that originally done this show at the Ritz in 94, I think this was. And this show in 94, we were supporting Misha Parish, which was a big name at the time. And from that show, Mark, seeing the reaction of this track Crazy, I says to Mark, you know, the ragga, because it was the time of Shabba Ranks, as well as not Sizzler and them guys were at that time there.
Cutty Ranks,
Shabba Ranks, Shockademus and Pliers. So Mark used the element of Watsy with a hip hop kind of R&B beat, and he made this song Crazy. And then that song got really big, and it got signed based off the video, because we done the show in Manchester, and we was like the headline, and I pulled some girls up on the stage, and the whole place just went like on fire. A guy called Clyde Black from Warner Brothers seen that and says, yo, this guy's gonna be big. So he signed him based off of that, you know. Whereas with the Punjabi MC thing, he basically, through the Asian scene that was always around at the time, because I remember when we was doing like a lot of supports, we used to do a lot of supports for bands like A Lap, because they used to have these big nights at one of these clubs over there. I've forgotten what it was called now. So we used to do a lot of supports with these bands. Plus, Spider's family was the drummer in A Lap, a guy called Chani, who later on we produced this track called Backstabbers, which originally we recorded in '97 after Mark got signed to Warner Brothers in LA with the Dog Pound and the Death Row crew at that time. And then we got Punjabi MC to do the remix, and then that track blew up. And then at the same time, Punjabi MC had done Mundi Adi Bajki, and that had blown up. So we were touring around with that at that particular time.
You went loads of places, didn't you?
Yeah, we went around the whole
About
world.
100 different countries, isn't it?
Yeah, 100 countries.
Yeah, you went loads. Russia,
the whole world,
all over the
really.
place with that one.
With
there.
Mark, I'd done a load of shows with him for TV and all this stuff. He got signed to Death Row. We got signed up as like co-workers with Mark, part of his band, to Death Row. I produced a track called Innocent Man, which DMX, my brother got DMX to jump on it. And, you know, so that's what happened up until like 2000, and you could say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 8, a guy called Cassidy got in trouble with the police, and he jumped on the track. Swiss Beats used the track, paid us for the publishing, and he jumped on it, and it went to number 3 in the R&B charts. The album, not the particular track,
Okay.
the album that it was part of, which was an album called Bars. And in 2009 was like, how can I say, the peak of that relationship with Mark Morrison and Punjabi MC and that. So up to that time, nowadays I'm still producing music, still teaching, still doing all the same things, but I'm looking for the next new star. So you know what I mean, that I can hook up. Yeah, from Leicester, because all these people that I'm mentioning that, you know, they came from Leicester and came via this Skywalker breakdance influence, if you like.
Also, you did mention the Cray Twins as well, because the Cray Twins were another influential crew that used to work alongside Punjabi MC. They were more PMC's friends than our friends, but me and them become really tight, really good mates. Even now, up to this date now, Rima, really good mates. They made a tune which was featuring Twister, the one was featuring Gappy Ranks, and was Lethal Biz on there as well?
Lethal Bizzle.
Was Lethal Biz on there?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Was he on
Yeah,
there?
he was, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
It was Gappy Ranks,
Lethal Bizzle.
and Twister, and they had a lot of working with PMC, but there was some kind of issue fallout there. But they wanted to do big things as well. You know what I mean? I mean, now they're touring India, quite big, Cray Twins. They're still doing quite a few things. They made made a soundtrack for Sean Bean movie, but also totally PMC made a soundtrack for another movie as well. So they're both working and they're quite big. But I think this is all kind of built up from our hip hop background and our hip hop understanding, that we kind of develop these connections, because the Cray Twins, once again, they were into hip hop. PMC was into hip hop. And because we were the forerunners, or one of the forerunners of hip hop at the time, we were still looked upon as, oh, these guys are quite influential, they've still got a head in the market. When it comes to talking and doing business or just getting into the doors, my brother he can get black his way into anything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He can black his way to anything, and he can make deals happen. You know what I'm saying?
It's his voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe it is, you know what I mean? Darth Vader voice, you know what I mean?
That's what it is.
Well, I forgot to mention quite a few things that had happened at the time, but because it wasn't like the kind of music that at that time in the 90s, because I first went over to Italy in the 90s and met up with like my brethren over there, Maurizio, who still does like a lot of b-boy shows.
Mega
we'll still go over to them. We and Wavy went to one earlier on this year, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rakim over there, well, didn't he?
So I'm worried about how much time we've got now. Just good to know, in Leicester right now, and all the things that's going on music-wise, do you think there is the next star? Do you think, or are you working with people at the moment? And you think,
I think there's a lot of.
This person can get.
Yeah, I think.
Is there talent in Leicester?
There's definitely talent in Leicester, and I think that, you know, there needs to be more places for them to get a viewing, a proper showcase. You know, I mean, there is a lot of events going on where people do put on these artists, and there's a load of showcases happening. But I'm talking about, you know, where it's directly influenced with a major name coming, because we started doing like a lot of work with like a lot of the major name brands out there, in the world. So yes, Leicester's got talent, but the main thing is it's got to get out there amongst the other stars that are from other cities, so that people can see and hear that. That's one thing that we made sure that we done in that time. We used to go to other cities and jump on that influence. That was at the time. I know kids are doing that now, but I think it can't be stressed enough how much you need to do that. Yeah.
What are you doing at the moment?
Me at the moment now, I've got investment in a couple of businesses. One actually music related, which is a establishment in town, which is a bar in town, and we run music from there. We host sometimes a few local DJs. Also, I still took my videography, like yourself. I do videography. I shot a video recently for a lady who's been in the music industry for a very long time, called Carla T. You know what I mean? Carla Thomas. And she's been in the industry for a long time, and now she's making a lot of big noise in London and in the States. So the tune was called My Sativa. Actually produced with the help of my brother. You know what I mean? He produced the tune, and then and it's doing a lot of heat at the moment with that tune. Also, I'm shooting another video for somebody else. I can't really say that. I can't talk about that until I've done it, because it's kind of a personal thing. So I'm shooting another video for somebody else. So with me more now, even though I still do hip hop's a part of me. So I still break dance. Someone comes in the club the other day, and we were in the club, and they started break dancing. I did break dancing then. We did a few moves. That was done.
They told me about that.
They did, yeah. Some guys, some Chinese guy, and some white guy came in there, started break dancing. I said, yeah, what's this DJ here? What's some moves, something like that. Because keys are break dancing, doing the moves we're doing, and he's like twice our age. But I had to put them in their place, let them know the lineage.
The grandmaster.
The grandmaster, you know what I mean? But basically, cut long story short, I'm still heavily involved in music, and there will be some stuff coming up for us in the future as well, rap stuff, but it'll be more personal stuff. But I'm more working and pushing artists forward, like Rakim B, or General Plasters, or The Fatalists, Lil Jed, and there's for the other MCs as well. And Wavy is working with a crew man as well, which you're going to be coming through, but I'm sure that you can speak to Wavy about that. But with me now, videography and managing this little bar thing I've got running.